New research from the Grattan Institute reveals the degrees that could leave you jobless. The only reason the 23-year-old pursued tertiary education in the first place was because she felt extremely pressured into doing so by her parents. She chose a degree in music, saying it was the only thing she thought she might excel at. "I felt pressured for 2 years, and stayed for 2 years," she told News.com. I then realized that realistically there are no jobs in the music industry, nothing worth thousands of dollars. So I decided to take a break from my course. $12,000 in various university fees later, Keshni found herself working full-time in administration. "This," she says, "is a field she feels like she can grow and excel in. I found uni was definitely a waste of money," she said. "Rather than gaining, I completely lost in the entire 2 years of studying I did. I never felt a dying urge to go to uni. I wish I went straight into full-time employment. Some people just aren't made for something bigger like a bachelor's degree. Moved to shake up our university." Keshni's story is not an isolated case. Today, some of the country's most prestigious universities are calling to shake up the tertiary education industry, warning too many students are wasting time and money in courses they either won't complete or be able to score paid work with. Go8 Chief Executive Vicky Thompson says students in some universities are being encouraged to enroll in courses that are basically useless for them. But many students either drop out or can't find work in that field upon graduating. She warns that half of all students with an ATAR below 60 will not complete their degrees, a trend that sees an increasing cost to the student and the taxpayer. The Go8 has concerns about less rigorous admission criteria, which can enable a potential student with a low ATAR to consider university as necessarily for them. She says, "There appears to be some cringe factor in stating openly that university may not be for everyone. I am not sure why. It is simply a fact that people are different and that their education needs also vary." She warns there is a risk the system will not be financially sustainable in the long term. It is time to move on to a new model, better supporting opportunity, student choice and diversity across the tertiary education sector. At its heart, this must provide access and equity for all who are capable, while maintaining quality. To handle the issue, Ms. Thompson says she wants to limit the current demand-driven funding model, saying ATAR standards need to be tightened. This, of course, could cause problems for universities outside of the Go8 with significantly lower entrance requirements. Not to mention, universities often make offers outside the ATAR system. Earlier this year, a Fairfax investigation found universities in New South Wales were admitting students with ATARs as low as 30 into some of the state's top degrees. According to the data, 63.5% of students offered a place at Macquarie University had marks below the course cut-off. For Western Sydney University, this figure was 59.5%. For the University of New South Wales, it was 46.5%. It doesn't help that the job prospects for graduates are not great. Last year, Graduate Careers Australia recorded its lowest full-time employment rate for new graduates since measurements began in 1982. Likewise, the Grattan Institute's Mapping Australian Higher Education 2016 report, released last week, found only half of those who graduated with science degrees in 2015 found full-time employment within 4 months. While there's no shortage of IT jobs relative to the number of graduates, IT students still find the going tough initially, with a third of recent graduates unable to get full-time work. Education ministers warning to institution. Last week, Federal Education Minister Simon Birmingham warned that universities could lose financial incentives if they continued over-enrolling students in courses where graduates were unable to find work. And it's not just in more obscure courses like music. Mr. Birmingham said courses with lower teaching costs in particular, such as law, economics and business, could basically be a profit center for a university. Speaking at the Australian Davos Connection Education Forum in Melbourne, he said he wanted some students to consider alternatives to university, such as TAFE or apprenticeships, if we are to ensure we actually get universities thinking about the numbers of students they enroll, and the disciplines they enroll in. We need to make sure they are driven in their thinking by what is in the best interests of the student and the need of the national economy. He said, "We have to have a look at how financial incentives the government has in place actually drive behavior by the universities in their decision in how many people to enroll in different disciplines."